Hey VC, how we doing? Adam here from The Freight. I wanted to come with a recent pickup video. My local record store here to where I am in my area is called Inclusion Records in Norwell, Massachusetts. And they are I don't know, they're the best. Not only are they the best around here, but I've yet to find another one that I visited in the general area of Massachusetts and New England that I love as much as Inclusion. John and Bobby, who run the store, are just fantastic. If you're ever in Massachusetts and you're looking to do some record hunting, definitely hit up Inclusion Records. So every now and then, you guys might have experienced this. Your record store might take in a small collection or even a big collection, and it has a lot of a specific kind of thing. So Inclusion got in this really super interesting collection of early kind of soul jazz and blues and things like that. A lot of them were on early Atlantic releases, which is really cool. Obviously Atlantic's one of the bigger labels, and they had some major artists, and I really love the soul jazz thing, especially in that sort of mid to late 60s transition into the 70s, where I obviously love the 70s stuff, the Herbie Hancock and what Donald Byrd was doing in the 70s and all that kind of stuff was so awesome. But I also really like what sort of predates it and bridges that gap between the kind of bluesy bop stuff to the beginnings of soul jazz. I really, really love that. And so I bought a bunch of records, kind of not even being totally familiar with all of them. But they were in great condition. They're all in the vinyls are all honestly, VG++, near mint minus at least. They really are great. And the jackets are really great too, overall. So I bought anything that was in that genre from this collection. It was all from, this was an older guy that traded it in. I knew it was going to be all consistent, and it was. And so I bought everything that was in that genre that interested me. I bought, and even if I wasn't familiar with the titles, Inclusion has great prices. They're just super fair record shop. They always are. These range anywhere from $4 to $24. Most of them were under $12 that I paid. I think only a couple were $20 or more. All right, so without further ado, let me show you guys what I picked up. Okay, this one, super cool, a record I wasn't familiar with, but obviously I'm familiar with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, but I don't know this record. Okay, Art Blakey, Drum Suite. So this is recorded in I want to say 56 or 57 it was. This is a Columbia 6i, which is really cool. This one got some incredible reviews. And some people said they liked it better than Moanin', which is the super famous Art Blakey and the Jazz Messenger record. You've probably seen it with his head. It's a shot of his head, and it's kind of looking to the side. You've probably seen that one. It's a world famous cover and world famous record, really incredible. But some people say they prefer this to it. I was super excited to see this. This was a very reasonable price, and I wasn't going to pass it up. And by the way, I have not listened to any of these yet. These are literally, I just picked these up yesterday, so haven't even had a chance to sit down and listen to them. Super excited to dive into this one. I love this era of Art Blakey. Stoked on this. All right. Another one. This is an early Atlantic. Milt Jackson and Coleman Hawkins. I mean, how could you possibly go wrong with that combination? So this one's called Bean Bags, because you got Coleman Hawkins, Bean, and Milt Jackson Bags. And Milt Jackson playing that vibraphone, man. It's try to find someone that did it better. I don't think you will. And of course, Coleman Hawkins. I mean, legend of legends on the tenor. Not familiar with this album at all either. And when I saw it, I was obviously going to grab this. This was an absolute no-brainer. Can't wait to dive in. Again, early Atlantic pressing. Show you guys. This one has that kind of late 50s, early 60s, I believe, green and blue Atlantic label. Super cool. Again, the vinyl's all in great shape. I'll give you a look at the vinyl so you can see, but it really is awesome shape. Can't wait to play these records. These are going to be real special. I really, this kind of bridges the gap between that kind of bop stuff that was transitioning into what was to come next in the 60s, and especially with Milt Jackson. He was, pretty amazing in the way he transitioned. So I'm really looking forward to that record and seeing what it's all about. This one is a little bit more into that soul thing, obviously. If you know Shirley Scott, incredible female organist. Incredible organist. I just say that just so you know that, she was a woman doing this thing back in the 60s. This one, I believe, is from 66, may have been released in 67. He's got that cool psychedelic artwork there on the cover, called Soul Song. This was one of the first ones I saw, and there was no doubt it was coming home with me. On the more classic green and orange Atlantic label. If you know Shirley Scott, so she absolutely is in the front of the trend of the awesome organists like Jimmy McGriff and Jimmy Smith and all these awesome organists that were to come from the soul jazz movement in the late 60s and 70s. She was right there doing it and killing it. And check out her music. This record I streamed and it's amazing. Haven't listened to the pressing yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. And but all her music is really worth checking out. She's an artist, definitely worth checking out. Shirley Scott, really someone special. This is another one, Johnny Hammond Smith. Here we go, another organ guy. This is on Prestige. Anytime I see an early Prestige record, I'm gonna get it. This, I guess, isn't early. This is mid '60s. I want to say 66. Love Potion number 9. Just look at these covers. They're so good. They did such an awesome job in this era with the album covers they were putting out. So this one, we got an early Prestige blue label. Again, vinyl's just in really great shape overall. Super clean. Run these through the ultrasonic cleaner and get them ready to go. Johnny Smith is another legend who's got this just monster organ sound. He's got that sizzling, greasy organ that you love, but he also plays the melody super well. So the tunes that he, especially when it's a cover tune, even when it's original music too, he's playing the melody so beautifully and bluesy and soulfully. Really someone you want to pay attention to. Again, this is one of my favorite genres of jazz, and I say jazz because some of the real jazz heads kind of get pissed when not pissed, but I don't even really care however people feel, but I've heard people say who are like traditional jazzers, get a little, soul jazz, that's whatever, that's trying to be too commercial. Screw that, man. It's awesome. It's good stuff. It's good music. It has totally elements of jazz and improv. And I get what they're saying, but I don't put any validity in it. I think you like what you like, and I certainly love soul jazz and jazz funk and all that stuff. That's really a wonderful genre in my opinion. And I love the bridge that this late 60s is into that, what happened in the 70s, which is what a lot of this stuff is. This is actually another perfect example of that. This came out in 67. This is the Charles Lloyd Quartet, called Love It. This is a live recording. I believe this had Jack DeJohnette on drums, if I'm not mistaken. This one is the super cool sort of orangish and plum Atlantic label. Really amazing stuff here. Charles Lloyd, incredible tenor saxophonist, always surrounded himself with amazing musicians and really did some wonderful things with this kind of, I say pre-soul jazz, but like the beginnings of soul jazz and into full-blown soul jazz and jazz funk. Charles Lloyd, really amazing stuff. Cannot wait to dive into this. This is going to be really good. This is a live recording. Really excited about this one. And a couple more to show you. This one here. This one is called Lusty Moods. When I looked at it, I thought it said Busty Moves, and I giggled a little. Yes, I am a child. But if you can get past the cover, I'll read you just the artists that are on this record. Miles Davis plays Diane. Gene Ammons plays Anna. Yusuf Lateef plays Anastasia. Shirley Scott plays Laura. Frank West plays Charmine. Willis Jackson plays Nancy. Sam the Man Taylor plays Ruby. Wardle Ray plays Sweet Lorraine. And Johnny Hammond Smith plays Portrait of Jenny. So, you can see the theme here. These are all tunes about, that have girls' names that are named after girls. And, it's an awesome album cover. I'm really excited to hear that, actually. I think it's going to be really good. Okay, cool. Next one. This one I was really excited to see. Mary Wells, Love Songs to the Beatles. So this came out in 1965, and it has a bunch of their 63, 64, 65 songs on them. And what's really interesting is she is an artist. She sang that song, Nothing you can do, My Guy. You know that tune, My Guy? She sang My Guy. And she went over to England before they came to America and was one of the artists, the Motown artists, to open for them on some British shows and some European shows. So super cool little tidbit about Mary Wells. And she did this record, which is all Beatles tunes. And I cannot wait to hear it. I really love her voice. It's incredible. Super excited on this. You guys know I'm a big Beatles fan, so I'm really, really excited to hear this. I haven't heard any of the songs off this, and I'm saving it for the record, so very excited about this one. Mary Wells. All right, another soul jazz pickup. Brother Jack McDuff, A Change Is Gonna Come. Brother Jack McDuff is, another one of these soul jazz musicians that really pioneered this sort of aspect of it, right? And, I can't overstate the importance of it. For someone like me who loves rhythm and blues, who loves the blues, grew up obviously loving the Beatles, but also loves, more traditional blues stuff like B.B. King, like Freddie King, like Muddy Waters, Lightning Hopkins. The evolution of all of that came through the 50s and the 60s. And by this time, in the mid to late 60s, it was hitting a stride where it was fusing with jazz in the best possible way. I think obviously the commercial success of the music of the day, of the 60s, played a part in a lot of jazz musicians enveloping pop music sensibility into some of their music. And that might have been frowned upon by some of the more traditionalists. But when you get musicians of this kind of caliber together, taking a song with a killer melody, for example, like A Change Is Gonna Come, and whatever else, of the cover songs and original melodies that were being produced at this time, when you have jazz musicians who are the pinnacle of improvisation and the pinnacle of their instruments and the pinnacle of music, taking these beautiful melodies that are easy for people to connect with, and you get them playing them in this soulful way, it's magic, in my opinion. And it's the pinnacle of this type of music, pop music, really. I can say that because I link it directly to pop music, because to me it's like the evolution of it. You kind of have the pop music, and then you have someone like this taking the improvisational point of the melody and doing their thing on it. And anyway, just my take on soul jazz and funk jazz and fusion, going into fusion and that kind of thing. Really, really great. Can't wait to check this one out as well. All right, got, I think, one or two more here. The Three Sounds, Vibrations. I don't know anything about the Three Sounds, okay? I picked this up because it's a Blue Note. And it's an original Blue Note. First press. Seemingly, from what I found with the research I did, this is, and please, if you know a lot about the three sounds, school me on it. Let me know. Tell me everything. Dying to know. So, from what the research I did, it seems like one of those kind of bridge albums that came out. Again, just look at how beautiful these old Blue Notes. I don't know if you guys have ever like held an old Blue Note, like the old school ones. They're hefty and like they feel different than 180 gram, like a modern 180 grams. I can't describe it. It's got this like heft. It really does. It's like, yeah, it really carries weight. These old Blue Notes, they're really something else. So yeah, this is, again, in my understanding, is it's a bluesy kind of that connective tissue to the soul jazz. So I was very excited to pick this up. And again, what's cool is this all came out of some guy's collection. He was like in his 70s and he came in, walked in and traded it in like a few days ago. And I was able to get like a lot of the records that were in this genre out of that collection. And I was so stoked on it. Yeah, just a couple more here. So Jimmy McGriff, incredible organist. This one, so anytime I see a Jimmy McGriff record that's in good shape, I'm going to grab it. I love the organ sounds of the, late 60s, heading into the 70s, and this is, certainly that. Jimmy McGriff, the main squeeze, legendary organist here. This is really cool. This is on that Groove Merchant label. If you guys haven't seen this before, really cool label. Check it out, look into it. It's got that red, white, and blue Groove Merchant, if you can see that. Really awesome looking label. More of that soul, jazz, organ, led jazz ensemble, which is, again, one of my favorites. Okay, this is the last one I got. This is super excited about this one. I mean, this was like, I feel like the score of the day. Elvin Jones, Midnight Walk. I actually don't know this record, but of course I know Elvin Jones. I mean, you're talking about, one of the legends of legends. And this is, look at this cover. If you guys can see that, like the awesome color. This is like the coolest turquoise color ever with like this orange writing. Hopefully I wasn't too far off screen for that. I'm trying to show you guys. Hopefully I'm doing an all right job. Elvin Jones, Midnight Walk. Awesome, like aqua color. The best way I can describe it. This is a stereo. Again, early Atlantic. I want to say this record is from, I believe it was late 50s anyway. I don't remember the exact date. But Hank Mobley is on here playing tenor, so that's incredible. I'll show you this. Midnight Walk. Just incredible stuff. Super stoked on this. I'll show you the vinyl. I mean, like, you talking about a late 50s record. These records look like he didn't play them very much, or when he did play them, he took excellent care of them. They're just really remarkable overall. So yeah, Elvin Jones, you're talking about this era, you're talking about probably hard bop into maybe some modal stuff, especially with Hank Mobley on there. It's going to rip. And I just am very, very excited to hear this. Not a record that I was familiar with, and as soon as I saw it, I knew this one was also coming home with me. And again, this is all out of one guy's collection that I grabbed. And I tend to, and you guys, let me know what you guys think about this. When I go to a record store and I see like a bunch of like sort of new arrivals that came in a stack or whatever that are look like similar, like they just came in together, that interests me, because especially if they all look nice, because they're all going to be of a similar quality, number one, but also just that you kind of have a general idea of like the history of it. Like, okay, whatever the history is, that's what all these records are. There's no kind of mystery to it. And when I saw, like, I'm telling you, these records are all in fantastic shape. Like for records that are 50, 60 years old, really crazy the shape that these are in. So I am stoked on it. Can't wait to dive into some new, for me, jazz. And I will see you on the next one. Guys, if you made it through this far, please give me a like, subscribe. Looking to do a lot more videos this year. So stay tuned. Peace.